Hey familiar, Igni here. There's been a lot of new Starforged Legends cards revealed since the last time I did a card review video, so let's just jump right into it. Real quick, Barbarossa, 5.54, Swordcraft Commander. It has Rush. Hashtag it has Rush. Last words at the start of your next turn, put a Barbarossa into your hand. Change its cost to 8 if there are 2 enemy followers or less in play. Change its cost to 2 if there are 3 enemy followers or more in play. So there's so many 5-drops for Sword right now that are really quality. Albert, Luminous Mage, Card Knights, even White Rage Sword and Control Sword. This could find a place in Control Sword just because it's a recyclable, impactful on-board follower. It just keeps coming back to your hand, and it's pretty good against board flood because it comes back as a 2-drop if the enemy goes wide, which is helpful for Sword specifically because Sword has hard time clearing wide boards a lot of the time. It's good in Cannon though. Like you can recycle it with Cannon and just keep firing. It's gonna be hard to fit because Sword has so many quality 5-drops now. Is this more impactful than a Card Knight? Is this more impactful than a Lumi Mage? Maybe in Control Sword. I like the fact that it recycles itself a lot, and it's good against board clear, so it fills that niche. Or rather, it's good against wide boards, so it fills that niche in Sword for a board clear, but doesn't do it in a direct way, which I think preserves a lot of the identity, so I like it a lot, flavor-wise. In terms of quality, we'll just have to see if it can beat out the other 5-drops that it's competing with. Magic Owl. 2.22, that's completely vanilla for Rune. Bronze. Evolve, spell boost the cards in your hand 2 times. I don't know, this seems like it could see play actually. Just because like spell boost is good, right? Spell boosting is pretty good. I just don't know if you want to waste your evolve on this rather than something like a Merlin or a Levi. Just having a 4/4. But yeah, spell boosting the cards in your hand 2 times seems powerful though. Canyon of the Dragon, Silver Dragoncraft Amulet. 7 cost, countdown 3 at the end of your turn, summon a dragon. It's pretty hefty just to summon a 5/5 at the end of the turn. If you can ramp into it, I guess it can be kind of annoying, because like the threats are staggered. It's hard to tell, right? Like if you ramp into this and then play it, could be okay. It's just like, is it better than the other options you have? Like Sahakyol just seems so much better most of the time. Yeah, I'm unconvinced. Fulminous Demon, 5.44 gold for blood. At the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to both leaders if Vengeance is not active for you. Deal 1 damage to all enemies instead if Vengeance is active for you. You know, the effect is good. The effect is good. And like, doing 1 damage to all enemies is pretty sick, actually. It's like a continuous Angelic Barrage on a body if you're in Vengeance, and if not, like, it attacks the enemy face, also, if you're not in Vengeance, which is good, and also gets you closer to Vengeance if you're not in it. Problem is, it competes with Airgemmer and Sabrier at 5, especially since it can get traded into easier than Sabrier can. Gloaming Tombs, Shadowcraft, 2-play point, Bronze Amulet. Whenever an allied follower comes into play, gain 1 shadow. So the good thing about this over something like Burial Grounds is that you can refill your shadows a little bit when you use a Death's Breath, but Shadow has so much shadow generation right now that this seems superfluous, and as an amulet it takes up space on your board that you could be using for something else. So I'm not convinced. Purehearted Singer, neutral silver, 3.12, fanfare and last words, draw a card. This seems good, man. I like drawing cards a lot. This is kind of like Mysterian Grimoire, but with no downside in a way. Mysterian Grimoire a little better sometimes because you can draw 2 immediately, but it's similar effect. And with no downside, I think this could actually see some play. Mail of Obliteration, Shadowcraft, 7.07, fanfare, add X to this follower's attack. This value equals the number of allied followers destroyed during this match. It's just a big, dumb idiot. It's on 7 cost, which is really competitive in the Shadow slot, or in the Shadow class rather, because you got Cowie, you got Eekter, you got Thane, and you're just playing a big idiot that dies. Because it's not even Beauty and the Beast where it's immune. It's just, you can kill it with anything. Yeah, I'm not convinced. This seems bad. Demon Child Zain, Forestcraft, 3.23 ward. So another 3.23 ward. There's a lot of these now. Clash, gain +1/+0 if no other allied followers are in play. This seems kind of like antithetical to the Forest playstyle of flooding the board a lot. But if you play Ancient Elf on 3, you already have no other allied followers in play. They seem to be printing a lot of these Forest cards that rely on not playing more followers, which seems really strange. The good thing about this card is that if you play it standalone on 3, it can trade into other 3.23 wards, so there you go. Actually, because it's Clash, it's not too bad, right? Because you can attack in and then play a follower afterwards. So, yeah, it's a good card, but I just feel like it's kind of weird design-wise. Lute, Leonard, Necromancer for Shadow, 8 cost this time, 4/4, silver, fanfare, summon 3 skeletons. At the end of your turn, give a random enemy follower -4/-0 until the end of the opponent's turn. I mean, by that point, at 8, like, you kind of want to be starting to end the game. And this seems like you're going for an attrition-based matchup. You got Nep, you got Mord instead, which are probably better for attrition-based matchups because they represent pertinent threats. This does summon 3 skeletons, though. It's pretty intimidating board-wise. So it's alright. And it can be annoying. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Like, it seems really late game, and it seems really attrition-based, but, like, around that time, games are already ending. I just feel like the net package is really good in Control Shadow, right? It's hard to run any other 8-drops. other than Nep and Mord. It's a good effect in a vacuum, just like in terms of the environment of the game. Maybe if the meta slows down a little, you can see like 1 or 2 of these, but other than that, it's a little slow. Spring Green Protection, Forestcraft's Gold, 1 play point amulet. Countdown 3. Last words, draw a card. Draw a card of this amulet is returned to your hand. At the end of your turn, give a random allied follower +1/+0. It does so many things, but I don't feel like it excels at any of them. At the end of Countdown 3, you only draw 1 card, which is kind of underwhelming, right? Like +1/+0 is not that good, especially since at the end of your turn, right? So you can't even take advantage of it for trading wise until your next turn. You really want to be using your Nature's Guidances instead of on Brambles or on Roach. I'm not sure that that's the right plan. And also when you bounce it, it makes the countdown reset, right? So that's kind of bad. Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing just seems like it does so many things, but it's kind of underwhelming in all of them. So I'm not sold. Nyx, 3 play point, 3/2 neutral. Bronze, fanfare given allied follower, resistance to targeted enemy spells and effects. Well, I'm glad that something like this exists in the game. This is kind of a cool effect, right? It's like a build your own menu. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. This has a lot of applications. This is the kind of card I like because it has so many applications. You have to really think about where it could fit. The effect is good though, and it doesn't lose any stat points for the effect, so yeah, it could see play. It's also a neutral, so it kind of links up with that whole shenanigans, right? With that, with the Alice. Well, regardless of whether or not it's competitive, I do like the effect, and I think it's pretty swell. Flail Knight, 3 play point, 2/2 for sword. It's an officer, bronze, clash, deal 1 damage to the enemy follower. I mean, it's just a 2/2 for 3 that is sometimes a 3/2 for 3, which is just like what it should be regularly. Like it can kill 1/1s, I guess, or things with 1 health for free, but it just still seems like not that great. There's like better options on 3, I think. Princess Juliet, Swordcraft's Commander, Silver, Storm. Whenever you play a commander that originally costs 3 play points, and if this follower costs 3 play points, change this follower's cost to 2 until the end of the turn. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is good, because it can also combo with Romeo, which is thematic. They have the same effect. It's also just a novice trooper that's potentially just better. Works with cannon also, if that's that makes sense to use. I don't know. I don't think cannon ever makes sense to use, but yeah. And it's a commander, so it can't get buffed, but Novice Trooper often isn't the card that gets buffed anyway by your officer buff cards. And the fact that it works with Romeo as a turn 5, like a flexible turn 5, like I know Sword has like really good turn 5s anyway, but using this like flexibly with Romeo seems good. I think this is actually quite a good card. Giant Chimera, Rune Legendary, 9 play point, 6/6. Oh boy. That is a Yu-Gi-Oh effect right there. Fanfare, deal 3 damage divided between all enemies. Start with the follower that came into play earliest, and deal damage equal to its defense to that follower. Then, distribute remaining damage to each follower equal to their defense in the order that followers came into play. After the final follower takes damage, deal remaining damage to the enemy leader. Spell boost, deal 1 more. Alright, if you didn't get that, basically, it starts at 3. When you spell boost it, it does more. And basically what it does is, the earliest the enemy follower, it pings that, and then if it dies, it moves on to the next one that was played after, and then pings that. Then if that dies, it moves on to the next one, and then it pings that. And then if they all die, it pings face. So if you spell boost this enough, you can clear the board and still pings face a little bit. And it also dovetails right into Loki, or right after Loki rather. So you play Loki and play Giant Chimera. It could be pretty good actually. Clear the board and then hit face for the other part, especially if you spell boost this a lot. Seems kind of hard to pull off though, especially since other D-shift combos are probably simpler. I don't know, I think it has a lot of potential, and I think it's a really interesting card. I think it's probably one of the more interesting cards they printed, because it takes into account follower play order, which I think is really interesting. So you have to start keeping that in mind. That's another element that we haven't seen yet in any other card. Yeah, this is super cool. I like it a lot. One final note is that the way it's worded is that if they have an Aegis in play, it deals damage equal to the defense to the follower. So it'll only deal the 8 or the 10 to the Aegis and then move on, rather than just wasting all of its pings. So that's cool. That's cool. So it doesn't just get completely wrecked by an enemy Aegis. Troth's Curse, Shadowcraft, 3 play point, silver spell. Destroy an allied follower and an enemy follower. So it's basically just Necro Assassin, but without a body. Could be used in some Nep builds that really want to optimize the 2, 3, 7, 8 and not run any 4-drops for the same effect. I'm not sure though, because Necro Assassin, you pay 1 more and you get a body on it. It's like way better. Maybe in some Nep builds, but I don't think it's going to be staple. Although, you know what? Effect redundancy is pretty okay too, right? But you already have so many things that kill your own things with Shadow, and they also draw you cards, so that's probably better. Night Sway, neutral 3 play point bronze amulet, countdown 1, at the end of your turn draw a card. Fanfare, draw a card. So it's just 3 play point, draw 2 cards, basically. And you're never going to play this with the enhanced 5 to add 3 to this countdown. That's just way too slow. You can just play the follower that draws 2 cards, right? That's probably better. Beast Rider, Dragoncraft, 5 play point, silver, 2/6, rush. Whenever this follower attacks, double this follower's attack after damage is dealt. Storm, on the evolve. Whenever this follower attacks, double this follower's attack after damage is dealt. But it gains no stats. I like it a lot. Because, like, in Aggro Dragon, what do you run in on 5, right? Other than Sybil. You got, what? Seabrand, which is eh. And you got Hippogriff Rider, which is even worse. So this could actually be a lot better since it has really good trading potential on board. But not only that, if you evolve it, it can also go phase. King Elephant. Forest Crafts, 10 play point legendary, 1/1. And also looks like a JoJo character. Look at that art, man. Damn. Storm. Fanfare, return all other allied followers to your hand. Gain +1/+1 for each card in your hand. Ignore enemy followers' ward. Can you imagine this after Loki, too? That'd just be nuts. Dude, this card is... I think this card is legitimately good. That's a big guy. Like, it's super late, but it's a huge guy, and they can't do anything about it. Like, what are you gonna do? Ward? Just goes around it, man. The only problem is that, of course, if you don't save your resources properly and don't keep cards in your hand, you're gonna have a really bad time playing a 10 play point, like 4/4 or something. But if you end up having 9 cards in hand, man, you even return the other allied followers on the board too. Can you imagine like reducing this to 0 with Wolf and then playing Jungle Warden on 10? Deal 8 to the face, return the 2 Jungle Wardens that you spawn to your hand with a 0-cost King Elephant, then go face for go face for like 10. Jeez. Sister of Punishment, Havencraft, 30 play point 2/3. Deal 2 damage to an enemy follower whose attack or defense has been raised. This feels like it's a hate card for Alice buffs, but the damage that it does is not good enough for Alice buffs unless they've already traded in. But you know what? A 3 play point 2/3 that does damage, I'll take it, man. Seems okay. Of course, if you're not playing decks that run buffs, then you're kind of wrecked. Oh, it's also really good in Aggro Sword, right? Or against Aggro Sword, rather, when they buff their dude. Like, if they use a, say, a Princess Vanguard on a Quick Blade or something, this could be a really early reactive play. Yeah, this seems okay, actually. I like it. The art is really weird, though. Like, what's even happening? Why is there a wolf on the end of a chain that's tying people up? Like, I don't get it. Unsheathed Blade, Swordcraft 5 play point bronze spell. Put a Swordcraft follower from your hand into play, give it rush. Return it to your hand at the end of your turn. Again, it's a 5 cost. But also it has rush, hashtag. I think this is really cool in Control Sword. Like, it's going to be hard to find room on the 5 slot, like usual. Whenever you design a sword card with that costs 5, it's going to be hard to find room in your deck for it. But if you can end up, like, popping a Leonidus with this. Like, imagine if they have a Bane follower, you pop a Leonidus on their Bane. God, that'd be so good. Oh, turn 5, Leonidus is resolved. Jeez Louise. I like this card a lot. The design is super cool, and I'm definitely going to play with this one. Bloodcraft Gold, 7 play point 3/6. Stheno, it's Medusa's other sister. Fanfare, summon 2 serpents. Whenever an allied serpent comes into play, deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. So, it's another card that summons a serpent that works with the Medusa, Venomfang Medusa's effect. It is costed in a way such that you can't play both in a turn, because this one costs 7 and Medusa costs 4. It does summon 2 1/1s though, and it does 2 damage per, like right on the turn you play it. So it already seems like pretty dang good, actually. It reminds me of Blood Hungry Matriarch, right? So a lot of the times Blood Hungry Matriarch will also just deal 2 damage to their board. Blood Hungry Matriarch, of course, dealing 2 damage wider and also potentially dealing damage to face, but this one also, you know, it gives you more of a board with the 2 serpents and potential Medusa synergy. I think this card is pretty solid, actually. Whether or not it can replace the Matriarch in Control Blood list, we'll have to see. If you run a list with Medusa, I'm glad that the Medusa effect isn't just, you know, straight up garbage, because the cards that support it seem to be pretty good. Like, this Stheno card seems quite solid. Taurus the Great, Havencraft Gold, 5/3 for 8. Storm. Whenever this follower attacks an enemy follower, deal X damage to the follower before it can deal any damage in return. X equals this follower's attack. Yo, this card is super good in Stormhaven, I think. Like, it's a little squishy at 3 health, right? But it has Storm, and it's kind of like Gil, but it's also like a trading machine to stay alive on the board after trading, right? And if they don't have an answer to it, you just wreck them. And it's also just 7 damage to the face if you haven't evolved, or 5 damage to the face if you don't have an evolved. That's still good, man. Like, Stormhaven's biggest Storm follower up to this point is Moon. So this is This could be a huge boon to that archetype. I think this card could definitely see play. Man, it's a big buff man that hits face, and when it doesn't hit face, it kills the other thing without even dying. I like it. Ariana, natural tutor, Forestcraft Silver, 3/3. Fanfare, put an Ivy spell bomb into your hand. Change its cost to 1 if there are at least 3 allied followers in play, including this follower. You know, this card is actually quite good value. Like, a 4-play.33 is meh, but putting an Ivy spell bomb into your hand is pretty dang good, actually. And with the additional condition of if you have 3 allied followers in play, and if you have, like, fairies in play, and it's including this one, right? So if you just have, like, 2 fairies, or something, in play by turn 4, you play this, is not that hard to pull off. A 1-cost Ivy spell bomb is quite powerful, especially you can combo it with like cheap stuff, and then just get the effect off with the Ivy spell bomb too. Yeah, this card has a lot of value, and I think it gets play for sure. I like it. Concentration, 3-play point, Runecraft Silver, draw 2 cards, Earthright, draw 3 cards instead, then restore 1 defense to your leader. This scares me because D-Shift is running Earthrights in their deck now, to combo with Golem Assault, and if you can get it off on Concentration and draw 3 freaking cards, that's really terrifying. Even in controlling, or not controlling rather, but like slightly slower Earthright decks, this card could be super valuable. But yeah, the most direct application of this I see is in D-Shift, and this could be a huge boon. Cycling 3 cards deep, restoring 1 defense, after, say, you play a Commence Experiment on 1. Like, goddamn. Dragon's Foresight, Dragoncraft, 2-play point bronze spell. Put a random follower from your deck into your hand, enhance 4. Then put a random follower with at least 5 defense from your deck into your hand. I'm not super impressed. Like, at 4, you're paying way too much to draw 2 cards. And at 2, Dragon Summoner and Dragon Emissary are probably better tutors, because they're... Well, 1, Dragon Summoner is more specific and adds a body to the board, and Dragon Emissary reduces the cost of what you pull, and is also more specific. This one, just a random follower from your deck into your hand, just doesn't seem like enough. Maybe I'm wrong, though. It's hard to tell. Like, drawing cards is super good, right? So, you might want more of it, but I think Dragon has better tutors. Jormungand, Bloodcraft Legendary, 6-play.55. Last words, whenever your leader takes damage during your turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies. This effect is stackable and lasts for the rest of the match. Man, this card is scary, because it falls on an evolved turn, and it comes quite early. It gives you a big threat that the opponent has to deal with, and if they do deal with it, you still ping them when you like Razor Recall yourself, when you Wolf yourself. This seems like really good in aggro blood, right? Like, and you can also run it with Caribous, because it's not like a 7 cost, so you don't feel too bad if you say play Caribous on 6 and you draw into your Jormungand. Yeah, this card might be super good. Like, it's a big threat that they have to answer on 6, that you can evolve, so it doesn't do, like, it's not a do-nothing on board. And then when they do answer it, it hits them in the face. Oh, no. Lorea, Dancer of the Sun, Runecraft Silver, 4-play.34. Fanfare, summon an Earth Essence if there are no allied Earth Sigils in play. Enhanced 10, double all other allied followers' attack and defense. So, the Enhanced 10 is kind of like a non-delayed Pascal, which could be good, but it's super slow. The summoning an Earth Essence if there are no allied Earth Sigils in play, that's super good. Like I said, I'm a little wary of giving Earthright more tools because they're just on the cusp of being tier 1, and it's kind of scary. Play your Earthright on 1, play a 2-drop, play Major Nightfall, and then play this. This could also afford you to run less Earth Sigils in your deck, and still have a follower on curve on 4. Yeah, I think this card's quite good. The Enhanced 10 seems superfluous. Like, if you can keep a board until 10 as Earthright, then that effect is going to be super good, but it seems kind of like a tall ask. Estrella Beast, Dragoncraft, 3-play.23, can't be targeted by spells and effects. It's a white tiger for dragon, but with no ward and with higher health. That's pretty good, man. I'm going to run this in aggro dragon for sure. This is like a better Trinity dragon, in my mind. It's not even a dragon. Look, it's like a freaking space horse. But dang. Dude, this card is good. This card is good. This is aggro dragon material right here. This is prime aggro dragon material. Globe of the Starways, gold, Havencraft Amulet, 1-play point. Countdown 3, Fanfare, put a random countdown amulet from your deck into your hand. Last words, draw a card. It's like a better Sacred Plea. That's terrifying. Because we all know how good Sacred Plea is, right? You can run 6 Sacred Pleas now. That's sick. It's also just better in a Seraph deck or in an Amulet deck like Skullfane. I know that's a sort of like my own thing. That's exclusive to me, but yeah, I'm playing this in my Skullfane deck, man. No, this card is good. This card is super good. Like, gosh darn. It's like Sacred Plea, but better. Heresy's Avatar, 7-play.65. Last words, destroy every countdown amulet immediately after you play it. This effect lasts for the rest of the match. So after you play it means that it's out of hand. So stuff like Veteran Tamer, And Birdkeeping Disciple and Seraph don't really work with it. Or at least after the first ping of Seraph. If you get to die on 7, you can play a Grail on 8, which is actually super good. Like, that's actually super duper good. Seems like kind of a dream scenario though. But it is quite a large threat on 7. If you save an Evolve point and play this on 7, you'll have like a really big threat they have to answer. I think like with this and with Jormungand, I think more banishes might be making it back into the game, honestly. But these drop before Odin, so if you're not Haven, then good luck. I think this card is actually potentially super good. Yeah, especially with Grail. It's a big threat that they have to answer, and then when they do answer it, you reap the benefit. Belenus, Shadowcraft, Bronze, 2/2. Last words deal 1 damage to an enemy follower. Feels like pack filler. Shadow has way better 2-drops. You don't run this. Fenrir, 6 play point 4/6, Blood Silver with Rush. Hashtag it has Rush. Whenever this follower attacks and destroys an enemy follower, if this follower is not destroyed, deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower. That's pretty dang good, man. That's pretty dang good. First of all, it has Rush. So this is going to be a beast in Arena. And it does 2 damage to a random enemy follower when it kills something, and it has really beefy stats. This is good. Staircase to Paradise. Neutral 1 cost, countdown 7. Whenever an allied follower is destroyed, subtract 1 from this amulet's countdown. Subtract 7 from this amulet's countdown for 5. Last words at the start of your next turn, put 3 random followers from your deck into your hand. You know what? The 5 is probably too much, but if you play this on 1 and then you just slam down followers that have to be answered, like if you're an aggro deck, then you just refill. I mean, it's kind of times a little much, right? But if you run out of fuel, this could just refill your entire hand with followers too, so not entirely sold on the enhance effect. It's expensive for the effect, for sure. Makes it an okay top deck, though, with that enhance. But if you just drop this on 1, then play threats that have to be answered, and then draw 3 again, then play more threats that have to be answered, it seems okay. Woo! Oh man, that was a lot of cards. Oh, jeez. Well then, that was my thoughts on the cards that have been revealed thus far since our last card review video. But the important thing here is, what do you think? Am I wrong? Am I right? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comment section down below. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Like the video if you did. Don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content and Starforged Legends hype in the very near future. And of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignideus. If you want to help the channel out as well, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.